Like all the videos on Saigancat's channel are made possible by fans like you. Totally.
Hello everybody, Saigancat here with another Quester's Rest. I haven't done a Quester's Rest in a while. This is more of a rant, maybe, or maybe it's even in defense of. It's in defense of. I've been seeing a lot of negative news regarding Nintendo's new NES Mini. For those of you who aren't aware, it's, I think the suggested retail price of it is $60. It's a little HDMI console with like 31 built-in games that you can play on a modern TV. It's great. It's certainly a lot cheaper than purchasing a Nintendo and all of those individual games and then getting the necessary cords and a FrameMeister to run them at a good resolution on a modern television set. The problem that is happening right now is there's like no supply available. And I've seen this before. I was actually managing a video game store during the release of the Wii. And prior to that, I was working at a different video game store when the GameCube was launched. And here's the thing about Nintendo and their holiday big games. They release a little bit less, or they release in very reserved numbers at first. We saw this with the Wii. We saw all the hype around the Wii. A lot of people consider this to be some kind of, artificial way of hyping the system up by saying that it's not available anywhere. Well, some of that might be true. Following the release of the GameCube, Nintendo's profits were kind of meh. Nintendo's kind of been in this weird area for a while. They had a really good time with the Wii, but they're still a company. Their main goal is to make money, and they have not been making hand over foot in a while now. The Wii U, it's a good system. I'll defend the Wii U all day. Financially, however, it's probably easily seen as a failure. I don't have the numbers up right now, so that could be incorrect. But I do know that the Wii U, when it launched, was very much seen as a failure. I know that it still hasn't sold anywhere near as much of any of its rival consoles. So, when Nintendo releases a new thing, like the Amiibos, for instance, they release a very conservative amount at first. Kind of see how the market is doing. See if there's an interest in it. And then they may release more. I can almost promise you that, like the Wii, there will be more NES Minis available before Christmas. It's how things have worked with them for over 10 years now. They release something in November, they sit on it for a bit, and then they say, okay, we'll ship this many more before Christmas. The problem right now, and I think that this is actually the real problem, I think that for the diehard fans, the people who stood in line, the people who put their name on lists, I believe that they would have gotten their Nintendos if not for the resellers. If you're unfamiliar with the current state of game collecting, we are currently in a game collecting bubble. Prices are rising. For example, what's a good example here? Here's a perfect example, actually. Battletoads. Fun game. I'd give it a solid 7 out of 10. Very, very well known. It's well known for its difficulty, it's well known for being fun, it's well known for being kind of a ripoff of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and it kind of has achieved this cult status. This is not a rare game. There are many, many copies of Battletoads floating around out there. The problem is that this Earthbound, God, what are some other ones? The Legend of Zelda games, Metroid, Super Metroid. They have a really high price tag on them, and that's due to their notoriety. But since we're in a bubble right now, and game collecting is this big thing, There's a lot more value being attached to this than what it's actually worth. Super Mario Bros. 3 is another fantastic example of a game that's being valued at much more than what it's worth. I've got a shelf of Neo Geo MVS games right over here, and that's been a very difficult system to collect for in the last 5 years because of this horrible video game bubble. And the reason that you can't find an NES Mini right now is because it has been sucked into that. It's being seen as a collector's item, and you know this by going on eBay and trying to find them. This has been happening ever since the Nintendo Wii. It's been happening since before the Nintendo Wii. It happened with the PlayStation 2. That was when I first started working at a video game store, was right after the launch of the PS2. We couldn't keep these things in store. We couldn't keep them on the shelf. But half of the people coming in and buying them weren't buying them for themselves. They were buying them to resell at double or triple the price. This has been going on for well over 10 years. The NES Mini has been wrapped up into that. Bayonetta 2 for the Wii U, that's another one that's been wrapped up into it. Even bad games. I forget what it was. It was the guy from Team Ninja did a game on the Wii U, and it's not very good, and it didn't get a very big shipment, so everyone bought it to resell it, not to play it. And the NES Mini is just another victim of that. So what I want to see is, I want to see less criticism of Nintendo. I think that they released a reasonable stock. Some stores only got 4 or 5 of these. Some stores only got 2 of these. That sounds like the GameCube launch. And there were plenty more on the shelves before Christmas. People are abusing the system. People are using the small initial shipments to drive up the value of it and try and make a quick buck before Christmas. Those are the guys that you should be targeting, not Nintendo. They are trying to stay in business. This is a new kind of project for them. Usually they just go digital with their classic games. Usually they kind of, you know, back off a bit on them. And this is the first time that they've done a physical version of their classic systems for you to play the original games on, officially and licensed. So, don't come down so hard on Nintendo about this. 87% of the reviews on Amazon right now for the NES Mini are at a 1 out of 5 stars. Those aren't people who have purchased this. These are people who are upset that they didn't get one. It's unfair to Nintendo. It's unfair to other consumers who might not be aware of what's going on with this system. We're going to have people who are interested in this system who go to buy one on Amazon later, and they're going to see these negative reviews for it, and because they don't understand where those negative reviews are coming from, they're going to think that it's a bad system. Which, from the reviews I've seen, I haven't picked one up yet myself, I'm waiting until they're available. The reviews I've seen, the only real complaint about it is how short the controller extension cables are, and the fact that it only comes with one controller. But I still expect that it's going to be great. It's going to be a very cost-effective way to get a lot of these games that you might not be able to find. Super C, Mario 3, and Final Fantasy 1. That right there, you're already saving money buying an NES Mini than you are just buying those 3 games on their original cartridge version. Because of resellers who are driving up this horrible, horrible game collecting bubble that is making things much harder, not just for collectors like myself, who, you know, are interested in picking up these older games and playing them, but now they're also affecting consumers because it is leaked into new games. Anyhow, that's all. Those are my thoughts on the subject. If you want to argue with me, please feel free to do so down below. But I think you're wrong. Thank you for watching, everybody. This is Saigan. This has been another Quester's Rest. Hopefully I'll bring more of these to you. There will probably be much more to talk about with the holidays looming. Pokemon Sun coming out this Friday. Well, Sun and Moon, I guess. I say Pokemon Sun because that's the one I'm going to get. That's the one I'm going to be playing. I will be streaming that on Friday and through a good portion of the weekend. I have a 5-day weekend off. My plan is to knock out Pokemon Sun and with that extra time left over, hopefully knock out the rest of Dragon Quest VII. So I hope to see you there on my Twitch channel. If you aren't able to make it, the VODs always go up on my YouTube here. So thanks for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to hit like and subscribe. Peace out.